The summer is an amazing time to increase your miles ahead of fall racing, but with that is that increased heat. In this video, you'll learn a few things you can do to beat the heat and keep running when the weather gets hot. In this video, I'm gonna go over 4 areas that you can improve to run your best when the weather gets hot. And that's gonna include knowing when the best time of day to run, some adjustments to your workouts, hydration, and of course, gear. The best summer running tip that you can have is get out as early as you possibly can. That means, being out by, 6, 7 a.m. potentially, and being back in the house by 8, 8:30 a.m. You just want to avoid the sun as much as absolutely possible. And then the second best time is going to be once the sun goes down. Again, just trying to avoid that direct sunlight as much as possible. Now, for those of you that work, either one of those ends may be a bit challenging or difficult, but I'd say that, for that period of time where it's going to be hot outside, it's worth making the adjustment. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where neither one of those things are available, well, that's when I would suggest that you look out for just good old-fashioned shade, just being aware of where the sun is and at any given point in the day. Look for parks that are lined with trees, and then maybe if you have a body of water nearby where you can maybe catch some of the wind, hopefully a little bit of a different temperature there. Those are the areas that I would look at in terms of avoiding the sun altogether. When it comes to workout adjustments, it's a few things you can do, beginning with adjusting your effort. You're gonna have to come to grips with the fact that you may not be as fast during this time, and it could be anywhere between like 15 to 30 seconds not as fast per mile. A lot of that's gonna be due to the combination of temperature and humidity. If you're somewhere where that's present, it's just gonna wear you down. It can have you feeling like you're out of breath, frankly. I know growing up on the East Coast is something I live with. Being here in LA, I have less humidity to deal with, but I certainly have plenty of heat. Loops are helpful. They can be boring, but they're predictable, and I would rather be predictable and safe than go out for an adventure and find myself stuck. Anything from like a mile to a 2-mile loop, or if you're fortunate enough to have a track available, you can work it out that way. Speaking of a track, interval training when it's hot outside is actually one of my favorite things. You can run really intensely, stop, get a swig of water or sports drink or whatever you need, and get right back to it, and you know that you're likely to finish the workout. Next suggestion is that if you've got like a big session for the day and it's just not gonna be feasible because the temperature's too hot, don't be afraid to break it up. And then as a last resort, if it's just too hot outside, I'm talking about the days where you wake up and it's just like 85 degrees or something like that, go ahead and just, use that gym membership and get in for a treadmill. And I know it might seem like a lot to do just to go get a run, but I'd rather you do that than put yourself in potential danger. Hydration. How much you need will be very specific to your body, how much you sweat, how much you're able to digest. Let's keep it real simple. Drink some fluids before you run, drink a little bit during the run, and drink plenty afterwards. Typically what I do is I drink about between 16 to 20 ounces before a run. That's gonna be an hour or less. If I'm gonna be running for an hour or more, I'll still have that 16 to 20 ounces, but usually like a half hour into the run, I'll take in about another 8 ounces every like 30 minutes or so. And then when I wrap up the run, that's when I usually go for like a sports drink. When it comes to the gear, again, let's keep it real simple. Loose fitting, moisture wicking. This is not the time for a medium sized shirt. You want to have dry fit material, that way it's going to like wick away the moisture for you and it's not quite sticking on you as much. Avoid cotton wherever you can. I know for some of you it's crop top season. By all means, do that if you want to. I just find cotton to be just kind of like heavy. And specifically, I do my best to avoid cotton on my feet because between that and the extra moisture that you'll get in the shoes because of sweat and that rubbing is what leads to blisters. Now, one thing I do swear by is a running hat. I've been getting in the shades a little bit here lately as well. One, because the hat I just feel like is cool looking, but it also is something to keep a little bit direct sun off my head. And then if I turn around to the front, it's usually just to keep the sun out of my eyes. Same thing with the shades, and again, they look cool. Also be mindful, your running shoes may get sweaty by the end just because water will likely have dripped down into them. And so being able to rotate between 1 or 2 pairs is gonna be helpful to you. Morning runs can be challenging, but fortunately, I've got a video for you here on how to become a morning runner. I'll see you next time. Jordan Thomas, peace.